I come with a warning. Warning. Don't touch these if you have autoimmune disease. There are doubts. There are worries. It's been seen in research. Don't touch them if you value your health. Autoimmune disease, don't touch. So, what are they? Have you heard of chlorella? I don't have my chlorella here. I haven't had chlorella in a long time because it's so expensive. But I used to use chlorella in my late 20s and 30s, early 30s. I used to use chlorella and spirulina. Why was I using spirulina and chlorella? Because they're good to boost your iron. As some of you might know, I have had chronic iron deficiency anemia since childhood, when I was eating all the meat in the world, all the liver, and having iron supplements since then. And I've had drips and all of that. But before, my gastroenterologist said to me, "Lady, your iron results have always been terrible. What have we done about it?" And before I had the first ever IV infusion, a drip, I tried chlorella and spirulina to boost my iron. I made smoothies. I shared my smoothie recipes on my first ever blog. I was a health nut. I didn't eat chocolate ever, not even dark chocolate. I ate carob. I was so healthy, and we bought so many expensive things because we could afford it. We only had 2 children. We could afford those things. But as we added to the number of children, it was more difficult to buy the specialized things. So I haven't had chlorella in a long time. I bought spirulina because I wanted to boost my iron, as I keep having blood tests before I go to see my rheumatologist. I've seen my iron drop. So don't touch spirulina if you've got an autoimmune disease. And the last one, echinacea. So chlorella, spirulina, echinacea, and there might be others, but these are the 3 I have used. I didn't know, firstly, that chlorella and spirulina have the same effect as echinacea. Echinacea, on the other hand, I knew the effect it had, but I never tied it in with having ankylosing spondylitis until this year. You know how it is. The rules are no injections when you are sick at all. You have to be better. Why? Because your biologic, if you're on biologic injections or infusion strips, those fight your immune system. So now if you're fighting your immune system and you're sick, they do warn you, it can lead to death. They warn you. The biologic pamphlet insert warns you, you can die. So we all know, as AS patients and others, if you're on a biologic, don't take a biologic, don't inject when you're sick. If you've had surgery, I know this is repetitive, but you might be new. This might be your first time. If you've had surgery, don't inject until 2 weeks after, unless of course you have an infection, a complication. Then you wait longer, because they say that it might slow down wound healing, and if you then get a post-operative infection, you won't be able to fight that infection. So we've always known that we don't want to get sick. None of us AS people want to get sick, as in a cold, a flu, a bacterial infection. We don't want to, because then that delays our injection and we just feel sick. But thirdly, my pulmonologist doesn't want me to get sick, because that will reduce my lung function and I can die. Thankfully, I haven't died yet, right? But I can die, and that I need to take that seriously. So there are many reasons for me to want to be better fast, or to avoid getting sick. And that is where echinacea comes in. Those of us who do know echinacea know that it boosts your immune system, helps you shorten the length of your virus or whatever it is, so they say. Except when I was in a group recently, a woman posted, an AS patient, "Oh no, I've got a terrible cold and I'm meant to take my injection in a week's time. I'm taking lots of echinacea. Please pray for me. I can't afford to not use my injection on time." And we can't. We need it on time, because otherwise our bodies, if it's working, your body feels it. And if it's not working, like for me, I need to be consistent so I can prove that it's the problem. It's the problem. It's not working. I need another solution. So she said, I can't afford to get sick. I'm taking doses and doses of echinacea. I'm vitamin C. I'm taking this and this and this. And then someone commented and said, don't be silly. Well, she didn't say like that, but you could read her shouting through the keyboard. Why are you so stupid? Why would you take echinacea, which boosts your immune system, when ankylosing spondylitis is an autoimmune disease? It's your immune system fighting against you. So if your immune system is so horrible and strong that it's breaking your body down, why would you feed it something extra to help it do that job? I had never thought of it that way. In fact, I even thought, yeah, but the immune system isn't like that, because as I said, if our immune system was that strong, then we shouldn't be getting sick at all. So then it didn't make sense. But as always happens, I started taking echinacea yesterday because one of my twins, my non-speaking angel, has got a runny nose, blocked nose, and she's still pulling me around. So I am faithfully wearing my N95 mask, washing my hands, sanitizing, but I thought, let me take some echinacea. I took a dose, and then I thought, let me Google what that woman said. I went online, and the first warning was people with cancer, people with multiple sclerosis, people with autoimmune diseases, and they mentioned other things. I think they said HIV, I can't remember, should not take echinacea, as it will fight against their immunosuppressive medication if they are on it. That too had never crossed my mind, that my biologic is to reduce my immune system, and then I go and take a medication to boost it. How will my biologic help me? I'd never thought of that. That might seem stupid, but I know there are other stupid people like me, because that woman said so. She posted it. We're not stupid, we're just not thinking. There's just too much coming against us. So that's my warning. If you have any autoimmune disease, don't take echinacea. And when I went down looking for echinacea and hoping someone will say, no, actually, it's been proven wrong, I just kept finding. Was it Cedars Sinai? Same thing. WebMD, same thing. Like reputable places, websites, and research papers saying the same thing. Don't use echinacea if you have an autoimmune disease. Well, then say it like that, because that's not how research people write. Research journalists, researchers, that's the word. But don't take it, because it's bad for your body. And I note they also said don't take zinc. I'm on zinc, so I need to research that one. You can also research it. But when they now mentioned echinacea, somewhere along the line I then saw spirulina and chlorella, and I thought, what? There's more. Yep, same impact. I didn't know that spirulina and chlorella are actually good for your immune system. So it's a second reason to take it if you are on it and you were only taking it for the iron. That's another reason. But if you've got an autoimmune disease, it was actually observed to cause a flare, trigger a flare in, it was only 3 or 4 patients with different autoimmune diseases. So flares trigger, fight against your immunosuppressive medication. It can trigger a flare, it can trigger the disease, it can fight, or it may fight against your treatment. I'm shocked, and I'm shook, and I'm sad, because not a single rheumatologist has ever told me, here's something you should not take when you begin your biologic. So every time since my diagnosis last year, January, I've been taking spirulina. Not spirulina, echinacea, for any sickness, mine or the children's. So that's my little bit that I've just learnt now. I'm passing it on to you. Do with it what you will. Share it if you know anybody who has an autoimmune disease. Share it far and near. It might not happen to every single patient, but it can happen, and it does boost your immune system. And if you're on an immunosuppressive, you can actually even go to the actual echinacea like insert, and it tells you contraindications if you are on an immunosuppressive medication, if you have an autoimmune disease, rather, not the immunosuppressive one. Yes, both. If you have an autoimmune disease, depending on which brand it is, if you're on an immunosuppressive medication treatment, don't take echinacea. You've heard it from me. Last to know. Okay, last in my family to know. And I hope that this really will help someone else. Let's do our best. Our bodies are already fighting against us. Let's not also fight against our own bodies. Thank you for listening. I'm so shocked. I didn't know. And then I look back over the years and how it kind of died down, and the back pain was only after I became a health nut, but then it was already there before I ate the chlorella. So it didn't help. It didn't help, did it? Neither did the spirulina, and neither is the echinacea. So I'm getting rid of them. No one else in my family takes them because they can eat everything. They can eat broccoli. The reason I took those supplements is because I can't have broccoli because of my IBS. It's one of the don't do. Same with legumes. Kidney beans, baked beans are actually good. They have iron. I can't have legumes. That's why I started spirulina and chlorella. So the rest of you are fine. You don't need them. But if you've got a low immune system, a weakened immune system, go for it. I suggest it to you. Have a lovely week ahead. Be blessed. And I want to end with this. There are many kind-hearted people, especially in my church, who think they're doing their best. And I say in my church because those are the only people who come to me with this natural remedy, that natural remedy. And they're also the only people who come to me with natural, but I've never actually heard of ankylosing spondylitis. Don't know anybody who's had my level of disease or activity with ankylosing spondylitis, but they come with their 2 cents. People, you really need to stop and think, because your natural remedy that you may be suggesting to someone might be what takes them over the edge and kills them or disables them. Just because it's natural doesn't mean it's not a killer. Just because it's natural doesn't mean it's needed or necessary. So please don't come with your 2 cents. Use proven research for your natural remedies. And if someone hasn't asked you for help, wait. Because most of us, we actually have researched our disease. We just haven't researched the contraindications, but we researched how to treat our disease more than you ever could have. Well, the people I'm talking about, definitely. I've researched the disease more than they have, because they don't actually tell me anything that is linked to AS anyway. So please don't give someone your 2 cents. Your 2 cents might actually harm them. Herbs are not all good. Otherwise, the very same people who bring me these remedies are very anti-marijuana, but that's a herb. We're anti-caffeine, but that's in a herb. Not all plants are good for us. Thank you for listening. Now I'm really going.